What is going on, guys, and welcome back to our channel. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. If you've tuned in the past and you've watched all of our videos, well, as you probably noticed by now, this year's video starting off is a little different. We are in 2024 and I have officially decided to run this channel well, speak in English, more or less. The content is pretty much going to be the same, but I figured that German has only taken us so far, and since we are a very specific channel with very detailed informations about older Mercedes models, well, I figured I'd show the whole world what it is that we do. And for those of you who still wondered what I was talking about in the past, speaking German, your chance to understand, to listen, to ask questions about what it is that we do starts today. As you can also see, it is super freezing cold in Germany as we speak. And since I'm too stubborn to turn on the heater, there's no bad weather, there's just bad clothes. That's why it's freezing cold out here. But it doesn't matter because we still have to work and we still have to get things done. Speaking of it, in the back of me we have a SL320, so a 6-cylinder SL. I don't know the year, it might be like a 91-ish to 94-ish, something like that. We'll check on that. But what is the problem with this car? I'll get right to it. This customer actually have been dealing with some problems for the last couple of years. So we did the engine harness, we did the throttle body, we did the airflow sensor plug on this one because this one is actually really specific. I'll show you in a second. But the workshop that he gave the car to did not finish the job or did not get the car running. That was number one. Number two is they actually did a pretty major mistake, and they actually broke the wires right after installing them. So I'll show you that as well. Yeah, as usual, I gotta get used to speaking English to you guys, but I guess we'll make it work. Less talking, more working. I'll get right to the car and I'll show you what the problem is right now. Let's go. As you can see now, everything looks actually pretty neat. So they didn't do a bad job installing it, just from the from a viewpoint of how it looks or how it looks in the car. You can tell that this is the plug that we did. I'll show you in a second. This one actually goes separately into the module boxes, while the engine harness itself, there's some of the plugs that are hitting right underneath this one. You can see all the wires, they're totally fine, no problems with it whatsoever. But the major mistake that happened actually happened right in here. I'll take off this cover and show you exactly what the problem is as we speak, and I'll also show you the reason why in this mode, the way it is right now, I do not even want to try to start it. Speaking of it, it doesn't even start even if I would try it. So it got here with a trailer, so I'm not going to risk it. I'm not going to try to, break even more modules if they're not even broken already. I'm not sure. I have no idea. Fact is, I'll show you exactly what the problem is as we speak, and then we move on from there. So here we are. This is the problem that I was telling you about. So it doesn't look like anything right now, but if you do take a closer look at the wires of the ignition coils, somebody unfortunately pinched them all together here in the back. So the car actually, usually they burn after this, so it actually starts to, the wires actually start to melt again, even though that they're new. There's a cover that goes on top of what you just saw, and the cover actually has these little fillings where the coils are supposed to sit in. And if you actually do not pay attention to what it is that we actually produce, then you will have a problem installing it. Meaning, if this is actually, you can tell how we actually try to put the 90 degrees as perfect as possible. So this is actually going inside of this one, and originally, as it comes from factory, I might be able to show you in a second, there's like a little latch that you fill inside of us, but this is like a rubber latch that we cannot reproduce. Therefore, we actually have in my eyes, a great solution as far as, covering the whole wires and actually making sure that this is long enough with the right angle to install it. But if you're, like I said, if you're not certain of what it is that you're doing, this is what's actually happening to the wires if you're not paying attention. The unfortunate thing about this is that this means that we have to take out the whole engine harness back out once again to actually renew just these two wires, because they actually go to the first spot that you start doing this engine harness. Meaning, everything has to be unwrapped. We're gonna have to see how many wires are actually affected from this problem, and that possibly could mean that we're gonna have to do everything once again. Pretty painful, pretty much waste of time, but like I said, we're trying to make this car run. We're trying to make this customer happy because it's been sitting for way too long. I will take it out right now as we speak, and then we'll see more once it's actually laying on the table where the guys are working. Let's go. It doesn't even look that bad. Usually when it gets stuck all the way, then these wires melt down completely, but they're actually still, well, I don't want to say intact. I don't want to throw myself out the, I don't want to risk any false statements, but they look good enough to try. So what I did, I put the cover back on, and I just want you to come with me right now and actually see if we can get this thing started. The airflow sensor plug is also back on. Trying to see if I can break anything, but I don't think so. So we're just going to see if this car is actually going to start. I can see it's actually absolutely freezing cold, so we'll see. All the lights are on. Look at this. Okay, it's definitely misfiring. Does not run on all cylinders, that's for sure. Actually runs pretty bad. Okay, but it does start. It does start, it does run. It does not run on all cylinders, which is a huge problem. So, with that being said, I will most likely try to take out the coils, because something doesn't sound right. Some of the pops that actually come out on the side, they don't sound right. I will check if everything is plugged in the right way. That could be an issue as well. And then we'll go from there. I got too excited. You guys saw that? Just being live. That's what it is that we do. We show you guys exactly what we do. There's no fancy pantsy preparing anything. I'll just show you exactly how I deal with these cars, and then we'll go from there. So I try to get ahead of myself. Let's take everything apart and let's see where the problems could possibly be. Let's go. Okay, people, so what have I done so far? I took out all the modules to check if I see anything obvious. What I could see right at the beginning, that this tab is broken. This usually holds it down from the bottom. Sometimes when you stuck them back in, this is actually for the, you can see the multimeter is out right now. I checked where all the connections were heading to, and everything looks so far so good. Sometimes these modules, when you stick them back in and tabs like this break, then it's a problem to actually, sometimes the connection is just not there. So these little pins right here, they obviously need to connect to the module box, and if they don't, well then we have a problem. Also, did I take out all the spark plugs, and one of them was actually a little wet, and it just smells like, if you could smell it, how it smells in here, it smells like really bad and old gas. Now I have no idea. Actually, I do have an idea, because our work was done 2021. We have 2024 right now, so it's not even a year like I said in the beginning. It's almost 2.5 years since this car was actually, I don't even know if it was running before. I'm telling you a lot of stuff that I don't know, and why don't I know it? Because I'm not interested in all these backstories from what the owner tells me or what the other workshops tell me, because at the end of the day, this is just I'm just going to be distracted by, people saying certain stuff about whatever. This is always how I start working on problems, because at the end of the day, I can always pull that card by calling somebody and asking them what they've done so far. What we are trying to do next right now is actually putting back in all the plugs and checking if there's spark to each and every plug. And also then afterwards we will check if there's not only spark, but if the coils are all working vice versa, and if they're all working on all cylinders. So I will just put everything back in right now, and this is the first thing that I want to check just to make sure where I am. So misfiring like crazy. Interesting, super interesting. Just try again. It's misfiring, guys. What's going on here? Crazy. The number one goes through 6. Let's see if we have a problem with the coils. I'm wondering if the coils are, even though they look new, I wonder if they work 100%. Let's find out. Okay, so people, by the way, if there's anything wrong with the video today, we have a new camera as well, so I'm getting used to speaking English to you guys and also recording it differently than I'm used to. So what have I done? I put everything back together. I changed the coils and to see if any of the new coils are broken, but it's the same result with our coils. Now I put the computer back on it and see what I could find here. And there's 2 errors that we could read out. Let's see what the first one is. All right, this is super interesting actually. This is the crankshaft sensor, which it states that it doesn't have any signals to it, which obviously could be the whole mistake, because obviously if this one doesn't work, then there's no telling to each and every cylinder, to each and every coil, when to actually spark. And obviously if this doesn't work, then well, yeah, like I said, then that might be the whole problem. Okay, some kind of module that he doesn't like. And well, like I said, these are future Kevins that is going to take care of this one. Right now what we have to do is actually take a look at the camshaft sensor. It's underneath, so I'll have to raise the car and see what I can see from down there. Maybe take it out, see if we have a replacement to get it done quickly, and then other than that, yeah, let's go from there. Let's do this one and see if this car will actually start running. Let's go. Okay, so everything is temporarily put back together. Really, please don't judge me for the chaos the way it looks, but that's just what it is right now. I put the camshaft sensor back here, not even plugged it in all the way back, because I'm really just trying to see if this thing is going to start up or not. Yeah, let's just do it together. So, you've guys seen what it did before. Same thing, same problem, same thing. Still doesn't seem to be liking the camshaft sensor plugs, huh? Okay, this is not good. I was hoping for it to actually start firing up, but it did not, meaning that we'll have to dig deeper. The thing that's going through my mind is I can actually read out the car with the computer, meaning usually that's a sign of the modules not being broke. Usually if they're broke, you can either not tap into it, or or it's just different. But as far as what it's showing me right now, you can actually read it out. You can clear you can clear the error codes. So this is actually a pretty crazy mistake. But still, though, these modules, they do get kind of freaky. So that, with that being said, unfortunately, I do not have an exchange module that you could just plug in and out and see if there's anything broken with it. But if there's anything going on in the inside of these modules, that's going to be the same exact problem. What I will do right now, nevertheless, I will see if there's actually enough fuel coming into the fuel rail. So I will probably open up this valve right here, right now, as we speak. Okay, now this is literally just to check if there's actually enough fuel coming out in the rail as we speak. So there's a little, it should be having some kind of pressure in the system right now, and it does. Okay, so fuel is coming out, that's good. Meaning it could not be a fuel problem. With then that being said, we got new coils. It's not the coils. Now we can see if there's actually spark plugs. I mean, if there's actually spark in the plug. So I'll take one plug out. Can do that right now as well. So we're going to take one plug out. It's actually pretty wet. So there's fuel coming. And now what we're going to do is we're going to plug this in and see if there's any spark coming. Hopefully you guys can see it. I'll have to figure it out from here. Okay, I do see spark. There's spark on the first plug. We'll go through each and every one. I'll put the camera to the side and then I'll look through each and every one of them. What a crazy long and maybe even boring video. It's a lot of talking, not much really happening. We're looking for some mistakes. We're looking for some faults on this car. Can't find them, going back and forth. Actually, there was a lot of stuff that was done offside or besides me having a camera in my hand. So I was working on this car for the last couple of weeks, not the whole time because we had other cars in the shop that also needed attention. So it was always like a back and forth, waiting for parts, you know, all that kind of stuff. But this is the keys. It's running. I'm going to show you in a second. What was wrong with it? Well, we ended up changing some capacitors from the engine module. We ended up changing one of the or all of the modules pretty much. So this one we changed. We also changed, that is not the one that's in the car, but we also changed another module that was used for it to start up. We changed the, like I said, we changed the plugs. We changed at the end the airflow sensor was bad also. A whole lot of stuff, but let me finish this video off by showing you guys how it's running right now. So the beauty of the beast. Oh, let me open it. We still have to do some other stuff with the windows regulators because they don't work. But watch this, guys. Same car. Starts up on the first turn. Runs on all cylinders. It's cold now, that's why we still have a little more RPM that we should have once it's warmed up. But it's running. I can accelerate. Normally it's getting back. There's no smoke coming out of the back. So I can proudly say that we fixed the car. Whoop-dee-doo. It's been a really long story with this car. I see on here on the side we have all the parts that were also changed. So like I told you before, the airflow sensor plug, the airflow sensor itself we changed, all that good stuff. Car is working, And yeah, this video was actually taken in a lot of sequences, so excuse me for, you know, being confused a little bit or talking about the same thing 3 times in a row. We have so much more stuff to come. We have a lot of cars in the driveway already. We have a lot of cars in the lift that need some work. We have some informations about our project cars. We actually have some crazy stuff going on as far as expanding. So there's also more to come. A lot of stuff coming up for you guys. So as usual, I hope that you liked watching this video. If so, make sure to subscribe, to like. We're trying to reach a goal of 50,000 subscribers. 50,000. Yes, that's a lot. Well, we work a lot, so we might as well, you know, we deserve it. Subscribe, spread the word. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.
Oh my God. Fresh.